Following Jesus, Peter, James, and John climb up the mountain. When they stop, Jesus turns towards them. In front of their very eyes, his appearance changes to reveal the light and glory of God that he is. Utterly amazed, they stop in their tracks in awe. The light emanating from Jesus is beyond anything they have ever experienced. It is the glory of God revealed. And then suddenly the figures of Moses and Elijah appear talking with Jesus. And another layer of God's glory is revealed. Caught up in it all, Peter recognizes the holiness of the moment, and yet is in that kind of inadequate place of what do you do, and says to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I will make 3 dwellings here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." And yet before he finishes speaking, another layer of God's glory descends. A bright cloud overshadows them. And from the cloud a voice says, "This is my son, the beloved, with whom I am well pleased. Listen to him." And overcome by fear and awe and the fullness of the presence of God, the glory of God revealed, the disciples fall to the ground. Who could stand in the presence of the Lord? And then in an instant, it all vanishes. Moses and Elijah, the cloud, the voice, the brilliance illuminating from Jesus, and all that remains is ordinary. And Jesus comes to them, reaches out and touches them, helping to restore them and reorient them to this moment, to the present, and gently says, "Get up and do not be afraid." He lifts them spiritually, emotionally, and perhaps even physically to their feet. Their encounter with God is precious, enormous, and will take some time, a lot of time, and a lot of reflection for understanding to even begin to come to them. It's not something that one is able to grasp. Like the concept of epiphany, it's kind of ephemeral, liminal, nebulous. It's like trying to grasp air or light or time. This experience, this divine revelation of God's glory is a gift, a teaching, one beyond explanation, to be held closely to one's heart. It is to be treasured and pondered as the apostles move into the days ahead. It is this moment, this revelation of God's glory, that will carry them through that time of Jesus' death and their encounters with him after the resurrection and beyond. Peter, James, and John, that inner circle, the chosen ones, have experienced revealing the revelation of God, of Jesus' divinity, and it will sustain them as his followers and as they lead others. And it is after his resurrection and ascension when Jesus' disciples, they have that more driving sense to live into the call to come and follow him as they faithfully journey. And their journeys will take them to the ends of the earth, carrying the message of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection as they bring healing, as they teach and preach the good news of God revealed in Jesus the Christ, and speak to the powers of the time. And we are called to do the same. Most often, it is in the ordinary, in the living of each day, that the most extraordinary is revealed through each follower of Christ, through each one of us. And there are many of us today who will say, I haven't had that kind of mystical experience. Well, the truth is that we move so fast, would we even know if we had a mystical experience? As we prepare for Lent, I invite you to learn to sit, to just be still. Go back to the psalm, be still and know that I am God. Because it is in that stillness that God is often revealed. It's in the most ordinary that God is often revealed. It is together that we are called and commissioned to shine God's light and glory in the world as we stand in solidarity with God's children of every age and every description, as we strive for justice, as we raise awareness for caring for God's beautiful creation, and as we learn to love as God loves. Each time we gather here, do you come with an open heart, with hopeful expectation of encountering God's glory? Do you expect to once again be refreshed and renewed in heart, mind, and soul, to go out and serve God in the world? It is in the fellowship of the gathered community, in celebrating and receiving Holy Communion, that we encounter God's presence and are strengthened and nurtured for God's work in the world. When I first came into the Episcopal Church, we often sang the hymn, and it comes out of the Cursillo tradition, and I remember thinking it was schmaltzy. Yet even still, I see God's hand at work through these words. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. In the midst of his children, the Lord said he would be. It doesn't take very many. It can be just 2 or 3. And I feel that same sweet spirit that I felt oft times before. Surely I can say, I have been with the Lord. There's a holy hush around us as his glory fills this place. I've touched the hem of his garment. I can almost see his face. And my heart is overflowing with the fullness of his joy. I know without a doubt that I've been with the Lord. I didn't realize it years ago, but this hymn set up expectations within my heart and within the hearts of those who sing it and hear it to encounter God's glory in community, in small gatherings, in intimate prayer. And that healing is available for all of us. To experience the glory of God revealed is a gift for any person. It is something that we hope to encounter any moment of any day and every moment of every day. In the most ordinary of experiences, the extraordinary is revealed, God's glory.